Road Break family, how's every single one of you? Welcome to this episode of the show. Of course, live. We're right here on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on every single one of our platforms. Welcome one more time. And for the ones that are celebrating Halloween, happy Halloween to every single one of you. Enjoy, get a lot of candy, not candy, that fake candy that is actually hurting you or killing you. But hey, enjoy, a lot of fans that they like to do cosplay and all of that. Jean Paul, a week that a lot of returns, some people going back to their they're older characters. So we're right here ready to talk about all of that. How do you think about this week of wrestling? And next week we're getting ready for Crown Jewel.
Yes, and happy Halloween to everybody. Everybody out there, please stay safe. Like Juan said, eat the good candy. Stay away from that bullshit stuff. But we're happy that you're here with us. Joining us live, talk about all the shows. And like you said, this week there was a lot of good stuff going on. Triple H keeps delivering. I think each and every week there's something that you really like. And we're starting here with SmackDown. Am I correct on that assessment?
Exactly.
On
we're
that judgment here.
SmackDown.
So yeah, so I mean SmackDown, to me it delivers each and every time. You start out with, I like this feud with the Brawling Brutes and the Bloodline. Yes. That's kind of how, I think Sheamus could be, when he kind of finishes up maybe what he's doing, that could be a contender for Roman leading to WrestleMania, because I think Roman is safe with that belt until WrestleMania at the very soonest. But they have a tag match and they win. The Brawling Brutes, there's all stuff going on, this and that, with all the Bloodline and distraction and everything, and they're obviously having the match at Crown Jewel next weekend, and then that leads into probably the best segment of the night. So then there's all the argument and dissension with the Bloodline, all going back and forth, everything. And then Roman's music hits, and Michael Cole's like, "Daddy's home, Daddy's here." And then I'm like, "Ooh, Daddy, what the heck's going on, Michael Cole? Is this what's it when he was in the back with what's his name?
Wade Barrett."
Now, who was the guy who molested Michael Cole? That's the guy I'm thinking of.
Heidenreich.
Yeah, Heidenreich, when he's calling him Daddy.
Yes.
I thought he was having flashbacks to that. But no, Roman comes out and is pretty much like, you know what? You're going to settle this whole thing right now. And they keep going back and forth. Jey Uso's like, "Listen, I'm going to call you out, Sammy, because you're not a Uso. You're bullshit. You don't belong here. I'm just the one who has enough balls to say it." And Sammy's like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you calling me out? I'm just trying to keep the peace and do what the tribal chief says." And he says, "I don't give a damn what the tribal chief says." And then, Roman looks, because Roman was doing the whole thing, look down, eyes closed, whatever. He says that, Roman looks up like, "What?" And then Jay kind of stands there like, he holds his ground. He doesn't look like a bitch, but he's like, what's Roman going to say? And then Roman's like, "Listen, you're going to get along. Or you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that where it says Uso, or where it says honorary Uso on Sami Zayn's shirt." He's like, "And I'm going to take away the honorary and just make him an Uso." But the best thing about it, he's like, because Sami Zayn, like we said, for weeks he's been saying Usi. That's his thing. And Uso, what does it mean? Like brother, cousin?
Uso is like kind of like brother, like
family.
In the Samoan jargon that they have.
Yeah, so, and then Sami Zayn goes Usi. He's like, "You're not feeling very Usi."
He's not feeling Uzi.
I mean, this segment, go on YouTube when you're done watching here on the live. Go on WWE's YouTube page and watch this segment. It's like 3.5 minutes on there, and you'll laugh your ass off. It's hilarious. Roman he's laughing, but he's being serious.
Right there.
Yeah, look at Jay.
Jay
Has to hide his face because he's laughing, and the crowd is into it. They're chanting "Ooh, see." Ooh. I mean, this is one of the things where the crowd, everybody's into it. These Roman Bloodline, Sami Zayn segments.
It's gonna get WWE more over. I feel that it's like you have like some like funny stuff, some humor, some comedy, but at the same time you keep it within the seriousness of what's gonna happen at Crown Jewel.
And Paul Heyman.
Oh, I don't care what the tribal. I don't care what the tribal chief has to say. All of that stuff.
And Paul Heyman don't say anything this whole segment, but every time the camera's on him, his facial expressions are great. Everybody's involved, whether they're not saying anything. The only one who's kind of doesn't really do too much is Solo Sikoa, but that's kind of his gimmick. That's kind of his gimmick, is like the tough guy who don't really say much. But these are great. These Bloodline segments, and again, you start off SmackDown hot. Triple H knows what he's doing.
Pretty much, that's the one thing that, like you said, like Triple H stays that on top, and he knows what he's really like giving us. And there was a lot of back and forth, like rumors that like there's a lot of like women that are going to be brought back. That we can talk about all of that right now. They're saying that Chelsea Green might be the next one that is going to show up. There was a lot of like, oh, another woman from Impact that just finished with Impact Wrestling might show up that is dating a current WWE superstar. So everybody's like, oh, I don't know. There's going to be the open challenge for Ronda Rousey for the championship. All of that. Liv Morgan is already in a feud with Sonya Deville. So who could that be? Emma. Emma is returning after like the exit of 2016. You know, she's a lot better of a wrestler right now, I feel. Also, she's a lot more credible, and she's able to sell her brand. Remember the days of Emma Lina, Jean Paul? Right now, she could be the new version of Emma Lina because she pretty much does all of that on, the social media waves, on Instagram and everything.
Yeah,
but I feel like the match right now that they had was very good. She was able to showcase everything that she knows, all the moves. Good old Emma. Ronda Rousey put her over for a little bit. The match was like almost like 6-7 minutes. So I feel that was interesting enough and good enough for her. In the end, she doesn't get the win, but I'm glad. I think that a lot of people, not just you and me, are happy that she's back.
Yeah, and I mean, lots of good stuff here from Emma. You know, a nice German suplex, and just like you said, a good match. Ronda put her over a little bit. This was good, and I think it showcased, okay, Emma's not just, okay, why was she hired because of her looks? No, she can go in there. She's a pretty good wrestler. And the thing I like too on commentary, Michael Cole says, oh, she was released, almost 5 years ago to the day or something like that. I forget what the exact line was or how many years or whatever, but they acknowledge that before Vince. This is a brand new person. They don't really acknowledge, oh, we released them, we brought them back, this and that. I mean, just the way that everything feels, it presents it a little bit more realistic. It still has the WWE feel, but it's a little bit more realistic. But, this match was good, and it's glad to see her back. She's a much needed addition to this women's division. She's a veteran in the business, so you don't got to train her. She knows what she's doing, and she was over. There was a time where she was really goofy and weird. She had the dance and stuff, but she was over.
When Santino, yes.
Yeah, Santino to me is bullshit. Don't ever bring him back. But Emma, she was over.
And like you said, for example, there's a lot of people that like you said, many times in this show we said before, like this division needs more women. They need to be spread out. Bailey's even on Twitter and all the social media ways that she has been asking for a mid-card title for the girls. And now there's the report that Chelsea might be back, Tegan Knox might be back. So this is cool. And again, Triple H at least every week give us something different, something.
Yeah, and I'm glad she came back to WWE. I'm sure that was a no-brainer, but she would have been a great addition to AEW. A veteran, knows what she's doing, can work a decent match, but she probably sees that division and it's like, ugh. I think people look at AEW, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I think they look at that like a house on fire in the distance. Why would you want to go?
Yes, we're going to talk about AEW, just in a little bit. So, that's what we have. So that's the middle of the show. We found out that Bailey for winning in what happened on Raw. We're going to touch Raw in a little bit. She earned herself a title match at Crown Jewel, which is good for her. And now, I don't know what you thought about this, but Legado del Fantasma going against Hit Row and a mystery partner. Unfortunately, Shinsuke Nakamura helps Hit Row, and they beat Legado del Fantasma. So I didn't like this too much. Why? Because Legado del Fantasma is a group that you want to make sure that they look really solid all the way, from the beginning, all the way for when they're supposed to end. But as of now, already a loss. I don't know if that was a good move from WWE. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not that big on Hit Row, especially because without Isaiah Scott, they have to have other guys filling in for him.
To be honest, when they said mystery partner, I thought, okay, maybe it'll be that Quincy Adams or whatever, the Gold Dust and Mabel fusion, because it's let's see if this guy gets over with a grand audience. But I'm like, maybe they don't want two, no offense, but two fat guys on a team. They switch it up. And I really didn't know who it was going to be because I thought, okay, whoever it's going to be, Legato's going to go over, right? As soon as I heard that violin, I thought, oh, shit, because Triple H is smart. He's not going to bury Shin. He knows that the fans know that when you tell Shin, hey, go out there and be the Shin of 5 years ago, he can do it. He can go out there and give you a great match, but he hasn't been motivated because you haven't been giving him anything. This is a fresh start. Like I said, as soon as I heard that music, I knew that they were going to push him and that they were going to get the win, and that happened. And, he's a good wrestler, but he doesn't fit this group at all. And to me, Hit Row they should keep winning.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, like, I mean, I don't want Legado to lose because for me, Legado is like what the group that you want.
oh, that's what I said. I think I said Hit Row should keep winning.
Yeah,
Legado,
Legado, you know,
Legado,
like, is you want a big part
Legado,
for
excuse me.
SmackDown. You want them to be like a crucial thing for what is going to be SmackDown because you
Yeah,
have Bray Wyatt, you have
especially
Roman.
because you took Zelina, who was a pretty decent wrestler. You took her out of the women's division and made her a manager. So okay, get her over. You know, boom, get this
That's
group
what I mean,
over.
but unfortunately they're doing that. I don't know. That's one of the parts that maybe got me a little bit of like head scratching. But we got a decent match with Karrion Kross and Madcap Moss, and as you can see right there, like, you know, kind of like taunting Drew McIntyre for the match that they're gonna have a crown jewel inside a steel cage. That was really cool. And you know, the message is like, I'm gonna destroy you, so this feud continues. We'll see. Maybe out of the two, we said before, this is the number one contender for it's gonna be, you know, WWE. For like after, you know, Logan Paul. Pato is saying hi, what's up? Hola Pato, ¿cómo estás? Muchos saludos. And you know, Paul, I feel that like this is good. And Madcap, hey, you know, the girlfriend is there. He's happy. We're all happy here, you know.
At least they can both say, oh, you know, at least we both lost tonight.
Exactly,
you
you know, and
nobody gets jealous.
And you know, and
But
and
yeah, I
he
mean,
can
this
go
is
home,
you got to build up.
You know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, you got to build up Karrion for this feud, and this is gonna be good. The only thing I feel is they might do a shitty finish where somebody just escapes the cage, which is, I hate how that works, you know, but hopefully these guys beat the hell out of each other. Crown Jewel, even though it is what it is, despite what you want to say about the pay-per-view itself, look back at the last couple shows, there's at least one or two matches that you can pick out and go, okay, that was actually really good.
Yeah.
You know, to me at least, there's been
they have like, and now under Triple H, you know, there's more seriousness. There's the, you know, the desire to do better. They know that they have to make it up for years of frustration, years of like losing fans, losing like, you know, interest in the product. So this is going to be good. Aaron Kurtz sent that message. Of course, Scarlett is always nice to see. Like we mentioned before, Liv Morgan is going insane. So in Sonya Deville, they're going to go in disqualification next week. This show was actually taped already. We got to mention what it is because, of course, on Saturday, there's going to be Crown Jewel from Saudi Arabia. So already the WWE crowd and everybody, they have to be already in the country. So this show was already taped. We're going to give you a bit of spoilers, but not a lot. Also, Paul, you know, next week, Intercontinental Championship match, Rey Mysterio against Gunther. This is a good feud, but again, you know, completely unbelievable to like think that like Gunther is going to lose to Rey Mysterio. I don't care how good you are as Rey or like how much of a legend you are, but you're not going to lose to Gunther, right?
Watch. The only thing I'll say about this, unless they completely shock what I think they're going to do and squash Rey Mysterio, which I don't think is going to be the case. Watch how good Walter is, how he can sell for Rey Mysterio and make you believe that Rey has a chance. I think they're going to put on a fantastic match. I hope they do anyway, because this is one thing, again, the crowd is kind of hot for Rey Mysterio coming to SmackDown. You know, I think he got a good pop when he won that, you know, the Fatal 4-Way. And I mean, this is a good story. And like I said, you got to keep Rey, you know, you got to keep him hot. You got to keep him in the mix, because you're doing the same with Dominic on Monday Night Raw, and they're coming to their collision course.
Pretty much. You have WrestleMania. Absolutely. So no, Paul, let's talk about now the main event of the show. Bray Wyatt, one more time, kind of closing the show, comes out. You know, he kind of gave us like a story of the good Bray Wyatt. I didn't want you guys to see me at my worst. I'm sorry for everything. You know, you see the like human version, a humanized version of Bray Wyatt. And then all of a sudden we get a big switch, or like a big, you know, change of story, which is good. Uncle Howdy shows up, you know, this guy, like creepy mask, you know, he kind of calls him a liar, I know everything you've done, you killed the Fiend, you were the one, you know, you're lying to all these people. It's not that like, you know, something happened to you did it to yourself, and I'm going to be the one revealing everything. So here we have Paul tell the world what we know about this character and what you think about all of this, because for me, it's interesting what they're trying to do. It keeps developing there.
Yeah, they play the mind games where if you're not completely opposed to this and you just write it off completely, as soon as you see something that's this, you go, oh, I hate this and I'm done with it. If you're not like that, you're going to get compelled and intrigued, and they tease you each and every week that you're like, what are they talking about? I want to know, because that's the human nature, to want to know and to be curious and to figure this stuff out. And they tease you each and every week. The one thing I will say, though, there's been the reports, Bray Wyatt's listed as the #1 babyface on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre is number 2, in case you were thinking, oh, you know, maybe Drew was number 1, but you know, no, Bray Wyatt's number 1 listed babyface here. You have these vignettes and these things with Howdy. I think after you finish up Crown Jewel, that's kind of like a little reset. Okay, we had a pay-per-view, now we have a little reset, build up to the next one. We got to see Bray Wyatt wrestle.
We need to because they're playing way
wrestlers,
too much of, like,
wrestlers wrestle.
It's about time that like he does something.
Even though it's not like he's new. It's not like, oh, we've never seen him. We want to see him. No, we know what we can do. Go back on Peacock. He has hundreds of matches on there.
Yes.
But, you know, the thing is, it's just, okay, you're back. Do something. You know, that's just me. It's like, you know.
Exactly. It's like we need matches. Yeah. We need a rivalry, you know. Especially about, you know, the guy that they're saying that that we think is going to be the, you know, the guy under the mask of Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas. Because they say that like the earring that he has in the last appearance at the WWE show is the same one as this Uncle Howdy has, which is good because you're going to have a feud based on brothers.
Either that or, again, because Bray Wyatt is so smart and he knows how much fans pay attention to shit, and he keeps hearing fans say, yeah, maybe he goes, and fans always say, oh, bring back Bo Dallas and he should be involved in this and that. He's like, oh, yeah, here's his last appearance. He had this earring. Let's put this earring, you know. It could all be the mind games to trick the fan. But see, that's what's so cool about it, because you want to find out. So
exactly. Again, you know, this is going to be good. Uncle Howdy, what has to say. And again, but we want just like a match. We need a feud. We need something more, because again, 1, 2, 3 weeks of like just talk is more than enough. We need more stuff. We need more ground to this feud, more substance. And for the ones that they were asking, there's a symbol that like they're really playing with Bray Wyatt. Like the guy they hired, this guy that was able from the Marvel universe, he was part of that. So they're really playing with that. There was a code that was shown in one of the vignettes. Right there's what the code means. So they have a liar, liar, liar. That's Uncle Howdy talking to Bray Wyatt. Interesting, like I said. I like where this is going.
I
but
wouldn't
again,
even be opposed.
We need a match, because it's not time for like, you know, just more promos or anything like that. We need something more solid. And, you know, Paul, time to talk about SmackDown. I mean, not SmackDown, Monday Night Raw rather. And what do you think of this show? Because we had another great return, going back to like the character that we were used to see her as. You know, that's in Nikki Cross, but like a pretty good Monday Night Raw, Paul.
Yeah, this show, again, 3 hours. It kind of sucks, kind of suffers, but the one thing, if you just kind of focus on the highlights and just, you know, maybe condense the show somehow, you know, get up, watch something else, or maybe don't even watch it and just watch the clips on YouTube, or watch the, you know, when it's posted online so you can fast forward through all the entrances, whatever. But no, besides the length of the show, it's good. They have a lot of good stuff going on. Like I said, Judgment Day. They're keeping them hot. They're pushing them kind of as the number 1 heel group. Maybe not the strongest faction in everybody or whatever, but kind of the number 1 heel group here on Monday Night Raw.
And that's, for example, what you want for Legado del Fantasma on the SmackDown side.
Yeah, exactly. They might not be running the brand like the Bloodline, but kind of, you know, pushing them, whatever, you know, as a strong group. Dominic Mysterio, I think, is good. I mean, obviously Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, leading the Crown Jewel.
Also, like, you know, the feud is they have a nice video package, right, Paul? You know, showcasing this great feud, and then no title needed. But, you know, two guys that like really have the same background, even with UFC. This is going to be great. And I'm thinking in this one, maybe Bobby Lashley will get the win. I don't know what you think, but, you know, at least it's a good match, and, you know, you don't need a title for it. So that's great.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you know, if we're jumping right in on this, you know, I'll give all my opinions on it right now. I mean, yeah, this is something where I almost think you have to extend it. Maybe you do some kind of shit finish, both guys fighting on the outside, like a count out. And somebody can maybe win, but have it be tainted or something, because you can't have them have a long, maybe 10-minute slugfest and some guy gets pinned. I mean, yeah, you can. Obviously, it's not like if you do it, the world's going to fucking end and explode and we're all going to die. No, obviously you can do it. But, I mean, does that really do you justice to prolong this feud? Because I don't think this is a one-match feud, crown jewel and done. I think, okay, maybe Survivor Series, maybe they don't do anything there, or maybe, you know, there's a trade and one of them is on SmackDown and then they're on the teams, or they somehow kind of face each other there. Then maybe in the Royal Rumble, they eliminate each other. And then WrestleMania is like the blow off. You know, maybe you kind of lead it there. Triple H is smart enough. He
Long-term
can draw
booking is
something
not
out.
wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think, because if somebody just boom right here wins, I mean, again, that's why I'm excited to see, because if they do, then now what are you going to do now? So this
What's
is good.
next for both of them,
Yeah.
especially,
But-
Talking about people that were losing, Austin Theory finally went back to the winning streak. He beat Mustafa Ali. So the one plan that they're saying for him, Paul, is like, they tease about going and cashing an NXT. No, they're not saying that now. They're saying, how about he's the guy that holds the briefcase for a whole year, and they play that storyline, even to the point, Paul, that like, it's like you have 10 hours, you have 5 hours, you have 1 hour, you have half hour to cash in. So they're trying to do like a really long-term booking, because how are you going to mess the Roman story? Let's say Cody Rhodes comes back. How are you going to mess that up? So they're trying to push it all the way to the end, so he can finally either cash in or like, maybe cash for another title. Maybe, another different thing might be available for him, because right now they're not going to do it.
If you don't have any solid plans, why rush it? You always keep him as a wild card. He's always an ace in a hole. As long as he has that briefcase, he's always a threat.
Yes.
Roman's been in matches where he's barely, snuck out of there with a victory. Maybe he even had to cheat to win. But, so if Austin Theory cashes in, then you don't know what could happen. So he's always a threat. But this is good. I mean, the match is great. Both guys are awesome. Mustafa Ali, I like the push that they're giving him. It's not, again, it's, pushing him to the moon, but he's good. He's losing by being cheated. Seth Rollins, distractions, everything.
That's the feud.
After the match, because they had a match already, so the feud is going on. They fight. Rollins beats the shit out of him on the outside. You're not worthy. You don't deserve to be here. This is my WWE. Throws him out. Says security, get him out of here. It reminded me of the video when the fan attacked Rollins like last year or earlier this year, whenever that was. But, he's walking back, and then Mustafa Ali jumps him and starts beating him up and kicks the crap out of him, takes him away and yells at him. And so Mustafa Ali gets the last laugh, stands tall at the end of the segment. Again, good stuff here. I like this.
They haven't, yeah. No, it's actually pretty serious and decent. I like that. He's
and
good.
He's one of those guys where if he was released, he would have signed with AEW immediately. Tony Khan would have said, yes, come in, do the light up gimmick, do the whole legitness, whatever. And he would have been an AEW Dark flunky within 2 weeks.
2 weeks after that, AEW Dark, and that would have been the end of it. So good thing that he stayed.
I'm glad he stayed. Triple H said, hold on, be legit. Vince is fucking up. He's gonna be out of here soon.
Just wait for me. I got it. So what do you think about this new reincarnation of Baron Corbin now with JBL as a manager?
I mean, I love JBL. He's looking serious, I love the line.
He beat Johnny Gargano, so that was a good win.
I mean, obviously JBL,
for, Corbin.
Yeah, obviously JBL helped him. And, Corbin going back to Baron Corbin is good. Sometimes he uses the clothesline from hell, which is good. He used the end of days here. But obviously you saw JBL get
We love that move. That's a great
because Gargano was screwing with him. He was, he took the cowboy hat, put it on. He's doing the dance with the guns.
Dancing, yes.
And then, JBL was like, okay, you little pipsqueak, I'll show you. And then, he took him out. Baron Corbin hit the finish 1, 2, 3. But I love JBL. It's so good seeing that character because it's not the guy who was on commentary of the pre-show, the pay-per-views. He's in JBL gimmick, full heel. He said it, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago on commentary.
He's the modern pro wrestling god.
Yeah, who is not Corey Graves? Who's the other guy? What's his name?
No, it's Kevin Patrick. That's
he's like, who are you? He's like, when did they hire you? And he's like, oh, I'm Kevin Patrick, whatever. He's like, Kevin, hiring you is like losing 5 good men. Like, I mean, just the lines.
That's
is like,
JBL.
you're like,
you said, that's the character. That's
JBL is so legit. And I mean, this is good here. Does it get Corbin over? Maybe not to like, oh my God, he is the god of wrestling, but he's getting wins. We always said he has size. He's a good wrestler. The only thing that sucks is when we think about Corbin, we think about that 7-month feud with Roman that nobody gave a shit about. We think about King Corbin when he was forced to dress like a Game of Thrones cosplayer. We just think of all the bad stuff. And, JBL, I think is going to help maybe wash away some of that bad stuff. But this was good here, for Baron Corbin.
No, it's going to be good. So, like, at least, this has to be the one that works for Baron Corbin. This has to be the exact one that makes him go to the next level finally after years and years of frustration, years of like bad gimmicks, just that stuff that didn't even work, only for the women. So tell me a little bit, Elias and Matt Riddle maybe becoming a tag team now. Riddle, like after like the win with Rollins, and Extreme Rules, like kind of a little lost. We don't know what's next for him, but here might be like the next chapter for Matt Riddle. Randy Orton's not coming back anytime soon. So this is interesting. Elias finally used, I don't want to say at the top of his potential because I don't really know what the potential is of this guy, but at least, hey, something for these guys to have.
I think that's what it is okay, shit, Randy's not coming back. That was kind of maybe the plan with Riddle, or maybe it's to help get Elias the rub. Because, okay, this guy has such false starts every time, start, stop, start, stop. He has a few. Speaking of Baron Corbin, he got thrown off the fucking stage at WrestleMania or before WrestleMania or whatever that was, and he was dead, and then he comes back and it's his brother, and then it's not, and then it's
completely blue.
And it's the stupidest crap ever. Triple H, he was a Triple H guy in NXT. My name is Elias. The strum, the legitness. Again, he's getting pushed here.
Fast forward also, remember that. Fast forward all the way.
Great match with Chad Gable, because Gable's a good wrestler. Otis comes out, attacks him after the match. Riddle makes the save and everything. And, this is, I don't want to say, this is great. Because I think, both guys are singles wrestlers. They should be, going after whatever. But, you really only have one title on this show. So you can't have everybody feuding with Rollins.
Unfortunately.
So,
that was the real part of the show suffered.
But I mean, some other segments, that I liked here. Good promo. I thought, they had an interview with Candice. She was talking, happy to be back, because we didn't know. We stopped, we weren't on TV. We were having a family. Now we're both back here. Bayley comes. She interrupts her. She's like, you're bullshit, this and that. You don't have any friends. Nobody here to help you. And she's like, well, your friends are shitty. And, they're just as bullshit as I remember. But, like, at least they're champs. And then Bayley gets in her face. She's like, hey, listen, I'm going to be a champ soon. And it felt like real. It felt like somebody really insulted her, that Bayley took it personally. To me, Bayley is the best heel in all of women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Better than Britt Baker, better than Jade Cargill, better than all them. I'm sorry. She's the best. A fantastic wrestler, great promo.
And you know why is that, Paul? She interacts with the crowd. She feeds off the crowd also. She goes back and forth with the crowd.
So this is good. This is a good feud. I mean, Damage Control. Bayley's gonna have, what is it? It's last
gonna be a match
standing.
at Crown Jewel, but why? The main event of this Monday Night Raw was like Bianca against her one more time. If she would have won, she would have earned a future opportunity. And I took this picture for you because I know you love cake. It's a little bit of chocolate right there. What else do you want? Hey, there you go. It's a power bomb. So I hope you love this. The match was really good. But in the end, we were thinking, like, how is she going to, win over Bianca Belair? So there was going to be a swerve right there. They're going to give you something that will make sense for these two to have a match, but also to give you something else in return. So there's a point in the match where, like, a mystery girl, because really they put the camera in an angle that you wouldn't see who it was, but because of the way that she dove, you see it's always Nikki Cross. So she helps out, there's distraction and everything, and because of that, she's able to pin Bianca 1, 2, 3, gets the opportunity for Crown Jewel for the Raw Women's Championship, and then we finally see the return of Nikki Cross, of like the character that she used to have before, and no more Nikki Ash, which is good because Nikki can put a lot of things as heel, babyface, this weird character that Nikki Cross was. Remember how good it was when the feud with Aleister Black, and they didn't know who attacked Aleister Black and everything, and she would be like, I know, and then she'll be like teasing him and all of that. So she can pull up like really good storytelling. So I'm happy because Nikki Ash had his run. What are you going to do after that?
To me, the only thing that she can probably say that she liked about it was she was champ with that gimmick.
Yes.
And that she got to do a lot of stuff with children and charities and go to the children's hospitals and help, be like an actual superhero for them. So people, who love doing that stuff, because, they get to help out those little kids. But no, this is her gimmick. This is great. She laid them out, whatever, but hey, they wrestled the match. They're tired. You got to get her over.
Exactly.
So I mean, this is good. Now she's a contender. You're putting her in the mix.
Yes.
Maybe, Damage Control is going to beat her up. Maybe she even, is going to be with Candice. Maybe she's going to be her own woman. She might be like crazy, like how Cactus Jack was when he was getting tag partners, and then after the match, he'd beat up his tag partners. Maybe that's how she'll be.
And that's how
crazy.
it could be, because that was Nikki Cross used to be. For the ones that are asking, what happened with Asuka and Alexa Bliss? Asuka is said to be a legitimate injury, and that's why they had to take her out. Like, remember, it was 3 against 3, Clash of the Castle. That's what happened. Alexa Bliss is actually fighting in house shows, so she's fine. She's good to go. But Asuka might not be. Maybe this is also another opportunity for Nikki. I wonder what will happen with Doudrop, because that was the one that was taken out. So
and then also, I think too, to talk about Judgment Day, we mentioned them as well. They had a segment with the OC, some back and forth. They had a match, Finn Balor, Carl Anderson. Good match. I mean, the thing everybody's talking about, Hogan slammed Andre, Rhea Ripley. She slams Luke Gallows.
There it is.
Here we
okay,
go.
Keep on. Finish the thought.
Yeah, but it's just the one thing, just slamming Luke Gallows. I mean, to me, people popped, Rhea Ripley, whatever, this and that. But it almost kind of buries Carl Anderson more than everybody knows. Rhea Ripley's a beast. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't get her over.
You mean when, like, you're talking about when, like, Rhea Ripley power slam Gallows?
Gallows.
That's what
I said.
Let me stop for a second. Let's read Stephen Butler. Also, he's been doing some Raw reviews, so he's already competing with us. He's a good friend. We love him, but
check them out when you're done watching.
Check him out also. He's a great guy. He knows a lot about wrestling. So Stephen, he says, hey guys, it's about time that Nikki Cross came back. I don't like triple threat matches, but I see Nikki versus Bianca and Bayley coming soon. It could be added to the mix, but like what we know from Crown Jewel, we even have the picture for you, Steven. Again, one more time, thank you for to support. This is what's gonna happen. Here, Bayley we'll talk about previews and prediction next week, but like here, you might see a title switch. And like you said, when it comes to Rhea Ripley power slamming like Gallows, I mean, you're trying to build Rhea Ripley like as a power.
But like I said, everybody knows that, and I mean, it makes Gallows look like a chump. I mean, a whole bunch of distraction, this and that. Dominic Mysterio, to me, he's showing more attitude. He called himself this generation's Eddie Guerrero. Then he said, no, that's bullshit.
Complete shit. And what did
and then he said, no, Eddie Guerrero was his generation's Dominic Mysterio. So then he puts himself over. They boo him out of the building. So this is good. Obviously, the distraction, everything. To me, all the signs say Charlotte Flair is going to come and join the OC, at least to help them to be the one to beat up Rhea Ripley.
Might be.
They have a long-standing feud. I mean, who else is it going to be that's believable? She just fucking power slammed Luke Gallows like he was a jobber.
Yeah, she did. So she's going.
You
really
know what I'm
strong.
saying? I mean, so it's got to be you can't be a Nikki Cross or like, oh, here's a Casey Catanzaro or some little. No, it's got to be. If it's not a Nikita Lyons, it's a Charlotte Flair. It's got to be a big, powerful.
A big girl,
woman.
yes, exactly. Can go toe to toe. It might be, you said, it's not going to be Edge or Beth Phoenix because they were both taken off television. Another thing that I mentioned, but we'll talk about this a little later, is the reason why Sheamus was taken off TV. We know the reason. We were almost there. We got invited, but something a little later. But Paul, for this Raw, I think that was a really good storytelling. But tell me a little bit about the problem that Carl Anderson has. He's a champion in New Japan, and he's been back and forth saying, I will not, lose that championship. And New Japan is saying, oh, if you don't defend your championship at an event that is a day before Crown Jewel, we're going to strip you from that. So I don't know how they're going to work this out. So
there was a video like a week or two ago. Luke Gallows said that he does the booking for himself and Carl Anderson. And all the booking, there's nobody else. You call him directly, and he sets it up. That's how they do it. And he's like, nobody from New Japan called me. So if you didn't call me, you didn't book us. You didn't book us. We were booked with WWE. And, that was something where Jon Moxley was the champ before he signed that 5-year deal, and he was the champ. He was AEW's champ, and he wasn't under contract. He could have signed with anybody else and been holding their belt. Yes. So, that's one thing where if Carl Anderson's not under contract in New Japan, why didn't they take that belt from him before he wasn't under contract with them? So to me, that's on the company. Whatever.
To me, it doesn't work.
I mean, yeah. And to me, whatever the wrestler does, hey, it could be something where people will go, "Oh my God, Forbidden Door," this and that. maybe New Japan kind of sees AEW kind of sucks, this and that. You know, the Bullet Club, they like to, you know, jerk each other off, but we don't care about them because we're the company. It's not called Bullet Club Wrestling. It's called New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I like that, you know.
So,
like
you know, maybe they'll be like, let's work with WWE. Let's do it. Maybe. But, or this could be real and everything we see is how it is. There's no, you know, nothing being hidden here. Nothing to work. And, you know, after he drops the belt, there's going to be no contact, nothing. New Japan.
Nothing.
We got to wait and see how it plays out.
To me, I'm telling you, it's an easy way to make it work because like all the back and forth, people to go, there's tension between them, and it might be just underneath. Hey, you know, let me defend it at the next show that you have, at the big show. Let me defend it at Wrestle Kingdom. So we're good, you know, I'll be there, you know, no commitments or anything. But also Carl Anderson, remember, he was one of the guys that said, oh my God, this Saudi Arabia travel, all of this was a nightmare. I will never do that again. 2 years later, then you're doing the same thing. Yeah, money talks, and you know it's not Shane O'Mac, but you know that's what Monday Night Raw was for us guys. So Paul is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then one thing to just mention Monday Night Raw. I love the whole R-Truth segment. Him beating the Miz was great. Everything like that. And to close out Monday Night Raw, don't talk shit on mac and cheese from North Kakalaki.
Exactly, that's right. So thank you to every single one of you, family. Now it's just talk about. It's time to give us a little bit more of AEW. You know, this show for a lot of people is still going solid.
We're gonna end it on a sour note. We're gonna end it on the shits right here.
I mean, you know, kind of like
we gotta go there.
If somebody's watching, that's fine. It's just you and me. So like it's all good. But like you know, this show had like this kind of like a pretty decent match. Carlo Castagnoli. You know what? Like Mick Foley said, if he will be the booker of WWE, he would have been champion like 5 times. Same thing that like Kurt Angle has said. You know, like Mick Foley's always been huge on like Cesaro or Claudio Castagnoli, but like I feel that you know in AEW he's not doing anything greater.
He has so much talent, so much potential. He was a Ring of Honor champ. People were hot. Obviously, Ring of Honor was oh my God, like a brand everybody knew. But the people who knew about it were like, he's the right guy. This is great. And then they took it off him, and Chris Jericho has it out. The only good thing here is he pinned him in this tag match. Maybe they're realizing, okay, this Chris Jericho run, nobody gives a shit. Nobody's really reacting to Jericho the way we really want or anticipated. Or maybe they're moving him on to something else. Maybe it's his Ring of Honor little title thing is over, and he's going to move on to the Moxley MJF feud and everything.
Maybe that's what they might try to do. What I know is like because Jericho is also going to fight. He said that next week he's going to fight a former Ring of Honor champion. So we'll see, maybe a surprise entrance.
The only thing I'm going to say with Jericho is he's the reason why Tony Khan turned MJF babyface, I think, because he said at press conferences, oh, MJF would make such a good babyface, and he kept trying to get that over. And now MJF is pretty much turning babyface because I think Jericho wants to be the #1 heel in the company.
And yeah, you're right. But I mean, they're screwing MJF because I didn't like this.
Because he knows MJF is an A+ as a heel, and as a babyface, he's maybe a C. So you know, a C-. You know, he's not a very good babyface.
No, and you know, this is the kind of guy like Randy Orton. There's this, so even Jericho himself.
Because the guy went from such
good heel. You're not good babyface.
The guy went from such a prick heel who was making fun of Lex Luger being in a wheelchair, you know, to now, oh, he's a babyface and I'm supposed to be all poor MJF? No.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's why they're completely losing that thing. You know, something else that happened right there, like Isaiah Swerve Scott and also Keith Lee, they were able to get a title opportunity for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Again, they beat FTR.
Bullshit booking. You know, why do they beat the best tag team? Because everybody says that they're legit. And, I mean, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, I'm not saying that they're bad. Oh, my God, they got beat by Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor. No, but, yeah, I mean, they were the champs and okay, but everybody wants FTR. It's different. That's like saying, you know, you had Austin and The Rock as a tag team going against the New Age Outlaws or something. I mean, this is the wrong example, but it's like everybody wants these two superstars to win, and the people who you want to win are the ones that lose, and it's like, really? I mean, it doesn't make, because we've seen this matchup.
Yes.
You know, and then you have Swerve Strickland kidnapping Daddy Ass and all that bullshit on Rampage or whatever. It's like,
tell me what you said to me before we went on there. You know, when it's too much fun at a wrestling show, what happens?
It's just, if you go to me, and a lot of people say it too, and people, if you watch this, comment, let me know what you think too. If you go to a wrestling show and all you do is laugh, and there's nothing that draws you in, where you're like, oh my God, is this guy really getting hurt? And I don't want people to say, oh, don't you know it's all fake? Yeah, no shit, asshole. But when you watch a movie, don't you get scared if the main hero is going to almost get killed? You know it's fake, so shut up, okay? You put yourself in there to try to enjoy it for what it is. So that's what I do here in some of these matches when it's presented that way. And AEW, they have a hard time presenting matches in that fashion. So people laugh. Oh, it's funny. He went through a table. He's crippled now, but let's laugh because it's all a comedy show. And that's how AEW feels. There's a couple times with a couple guys, and CM Punk was one of them, and he's not there anymore. And, that it definitely hurts him. But, a couple guys on this show can make you feel that, yeah, this is real. This is a contest. This is a struggle. But 90% of the roster is all jokes. It's all comedy. And that's what really hurts this show.
I think that is not their intention, but it's what they're given to do. It's like here, and for example, FTR, like you said, they've been trying on their own to just be the greatest tag team in pro wrestling. And many companies, they've been able to be successful at it. Now in New Japan, the Motor City Machine Guns are the champions. So I think they defeated it.
Well, and see, that's the one thing too to talk about. There's no, Dory Funk Jr. and Dr. Tom Pritchard that WWE had. Even when people came in that were legit, and if they worked territories or whatever, they still came in. And these guys, okay, we all this is all how we work. We all work at as a unit. People are coming in from AEW. Oh, I'm a self-trained luchador. Oh, I fucking wrestled in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Oh, I'm from New Japan. Everybody's different, and they all try to wrestle together, and nothing matches, nothing makes sense, nothing is just the styles clashes, everything. That's why I think the matches are hard to get into as well.
Process, there's not really like that structure, and that's why everything is all over the place, and that's why the show suffers. It doesn't have a lot of like, the order that is supposed to things should go. There's not a lot of structure or like symmetry on those things. MJF, like you said, pretty much babyface MJF. He tells Hathaway, hey, do not mess with Jon Moxley during his match for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship against Penta Zero Miedo. If you do that, you will get fired. So do not do that. Okay? Don't mess with that. MJF going completely babyface now, like you said, completely babyface.
Yeah, and I said my thoughts on that. It's bad choice. To me, it's done by people who don't know what they're doing, and they're ruining such a great wrestler by changing his character. And you just you put him with the Firm. I don't think that was needed, but then pretty much spoiler alert, he's not with the Firm anymore. So what the hell was the point of all that? And also, what the hell was the point of Penta versus Moxley? That's just a match you just throw together, no build, ice cold. Nobody cares. Nobody goes, oh, Penta might win. No.
And that's the thing, is like, if you think that way already, why you have the match?
Yeah, again, I mean, you say, oh, why don't you try to suspend disbelief? Because, okay, I can't even suspend my disbelief that far to be like, oh, that Penta has a chance. Come on.
No, Bryan Danielson going against Sammy Guevara, a good match, but I'm happy that at least Bryan Danielson did not lose against this guy.
Finally.
This guy is absolutely obnoxious. I don't care about this guy at all, and this is the one thing that, like, at least I appreciate. Danielson gets a win over Guevara. We'll see what's next for Danielson. This is something that I want to see. At least he should be able to go for, like, finally be the AEW champion, win something, and that's the only.
He's another one too who was having the matches. Okay, the match with Omega, match with Hangman. He was another one who was on top of the division. He was the number one heel. Joined the Blackpool Combat Club, and he's immediately gone to shit.
Yep, and that's how you ruin somebody. The easiest way, you put that freaking group together. Even William Regal. If you didn't need the guy, why is he there? The only thing, like, he's good. I mean, he has good promos. Of course, it's William Regal. It's William freaking Regal. He said in an interview that he had that, like, WWE didn't allow him to pull MJF, reach out to, like, Ricky Starks, Sammy Guevara. He already had contact with these guys to move them to the WWE. But at that point, he was really depressed. He almost committed suicide. So the WWE stopped every single email that will come to him. Just, to, like, have him, like, quiet and, recuperate, get better, and all of that. So, let's talk about this one because I feel that in this interview is when the match is going to be set up for Full Gear. We have like 3 weeks for Full Gear. Dr. Britt Baker and Saraya, they're going to like sit down with Renee. All of this is just to set up the match for me. Here it's going to be good to see Saraya fighting again. Whether Britt Baker is able to carry her on the match, something that we will be, it will be nice to see. We have another comment. It's Steven. He goes, too many T or too many F. Or that's what it says. I don't know what he really means by that, Steven. But this is, I don't know what they're really going to do. But for me, this is when the match is going to be set up.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing is, I guess she can wrestle. I guess she's fine.
She's clear.
But, I mean, we'll see for how. I don't want to be that guy. And I'm not going to. I'll say I hope she doesn't get hurt again because that would be obviously awful. But, I mean, Britt Baker is, I think the hottest heel that they have. So you got to, Saraya, it makes sense for her to go against Britt Baker. So this should be good. I think, obviously, they'll come to blows. Maybe she'll hit Saraya. And maybe she'll be standing tall. Maybe Saraya will be standing tall to try to get her over to say, no, she is tough. She's back. She's here to kick some ass. We got to see. So this is something where people are interested, maybe not for the feud, but just how is this woman's condition? How is she going to be?
Yes. I mean, that's for me. Like the hook is like, I want to see her wrestle and see what she's able to do. And whether Britt Baker is the woman that can make her look good also. In a way that like she looks good and also like she's healthy.
Definitely don't put her in there with Athena. Athena will knock her out and kill her.
We know that AEW Dark, that match was really stiff. She got a lot of heat from that. Like they were actually told backstage, like, hey, can you tone it down next time? Next time. We'll see. I mean, other stuff that they have on AEW Dynamite. Riho went against Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter gets the win. Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm, they look at each other. That might be the match for Full Gear. I don't know yet, but at least this is going to be a good match. Jamie Hayter deserves so much better than what she gets.
Yeah, Jamie Hayter's great. I mean, Riho, does anybody give a shit? Absolutely not.
Riho, 10 pounds.
The only thing I'll say is, listen, that means 4 women's matches on Full Gear. Saraya and Britt Baker. You're going to have to do something with the champion. I mean, I guess, Toni Storm is the champ, so that's a championship match. But then, 3, because Jade Cargill. I mean, do you need 3 women's matches? No. I mean, I don't think so, but I mean, I guess you got to do all 3.
Don't you think that like Britt Baker and Saraya is actually more important than the championship itself?
I mean, I think it has more intrigue. It's kind of like the CM Punk Darby Allin match. That wasn't for the championship, but it was the first back, so you want to see it.
Exactly. So, talk about, like you said, Jon Moxley going against like Penta, the same good match. I mean, Penta does, of course, like the lucha style, all of that. In the end, Jon Moxley, 2 paradigm shifts, 1, 2, 3, he gets the win, all of that. Then you see the members of the firm, they come out, they start attacking Jon Moxley. MJF comes out and he's like, I told you guys not to do that. And out of like the heat of the moment, he ends up firing Hathaway and the members of the firm. And the firm attack, MJF. And they beat his ass. Morrissey did a chokeslam on top of a table. All of that, you see this. This is how AEW closes the show. And I mean, like completely destroying MJF is cutting the only good thing that like this show has. There was also a promo by the Elite.
Does anybody look at the firm and go, okay, I mean, I think Austin and Colton Gunn are a pretty decent team. I thought they were better when they had Billy Gunn. And they were all heels. Billy as a baby face with the Acclaimed isn't bad, but I liked him more when he was with his kids. But nobody cares about Lee Moriarty. I don't think Morrissey is as over as they want or people might think he is. Stokely Hathaway is a good talker, but without that stud, you know what I mean? He doesn't have the Ric Flair or the Macho Man. There's no stud. There's no, okay, I have all the guys, I have the tag team, I have the flunky, I have the up-and-comer, but here's the stud. There is none, to me anyway.
Exactly. What you should do, Morrissey and Hathaway. Both of them, like you said, the stud in Morrissey, not that great on the mic, but like use Hathaway to just push the guy. It's like, okay, you want to like mess with me? You're going to mess with my guy. Boom. And then
if Ricky Starks was in that group, I'd be like, okay, Ricky Starks is the main guy, but they don't have him. To me, there's no main guy in that group.
Exactly. And there's not that like the guy that like hooks you in, and then the other ones are like kind of like the studio, the latches. Like we always
MJF was that main guy. He fired the group. So to me now, this is just another group in the sea of hundreds of groups that exist on AEW.
Exactly. And Paul, you know, a lot of rumors that like AEW might buy the rest of CM Punk's contract. Britt Baker put on Twitter, it doesn't matter how big you think you are. It doesn't matter how great of the things you've done. You're not greater than Tony Khan or AEW. Taking a shot at CM Punk, and a lot of people say that like they've mutual.
Well, I would say that he probably is greater than AEW. I think he'll have more years in wrestling than AEW will have years existing. That's,
there you go.
That's maybe a bold claim, but I'm gonna make it right here. No, I mean,
exactly.
I heard all the things. Oh, they did a vote, and a majority of the wrestlers voted that he shouldn't be brought back. Yeah, I'm sure Tony Khan and them are gonna work something out, because there was already reports that the Bucks and were backstage, or they were some near where they were filming.
There was a video package mentioned in the Elite.
Yes,
so
something. So
close that they're going to come back.
Yeah, so obviously Tony Khan, he chose his side, and I mean, hey, he was going to get lambasted. He was going to get people were going to say stuff no matter who he chose, or even if he fired both parties or brought both parties back. Whatever he did, people were going to have a comment. So here's mine. I mean, I don't like it. Where does CM Punk go? Does he say, you know what? I made a mistake coming back. I thought I could help. Clearly, they don't want to be helped. Screw them. And he just goes home? Or does he try to go or does Triple H say, you know what? You said before you don't need to wrestle me. I need to wrestle you. Well, you know what? Now I need you again. Do you want to come back? Do you and Roman, you can have the promos with Paul Heyman. And then, how many zeros do you want on the end of that check? You know what I'm saying? It maybe he goes back there. We don't know. But if he buys him out of that contract and there's a no compete, or even if it's a 90-day or whatever it is, it's going to be very interesting.
Yes, because Triple H has never said that he will not try to. He always said this. The word that Triple H always uses is, if it's good for business, we're going to bring him back. And I mean, like you said, the wars, like, CM Punk has beef with everybody pretty much. He's the Eminem of pro wrestling. He has beef with everybody. If CM Punk would be a rapper, imagine how many songs it would be about Roman, about MJF.
I mean, the thing I'll say is,
Kings.
To me, I mean, there's so much good stuff you can do, but like, imagine that though. You would say that besides an MJF, WWE, if they do, hypothetically, they signed their two biggest stars. Cody Rhodes, he was the one who was doing all the press. He was the EVP that actually did EVP stuff. He had the reality TV show. He was one of their biggest stars, and they signed him. And then if they'd somehow signed CM Punk, I mean, there's lots of good stuff for him to do there. I think he knows it's a little more serious. He definitely is more. I don't know the guy at all. Not like I text him, yo, what's up, Phil? How's it going? Do you want to eat some muffins? And we can play fetch with Larry in the yard
tomorrow at my place.
No, but I feel like he would be more open to coming back with Triple H in charge and with that creative versus a Vince McMahon run WWE.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Buckaroos come back for their the pay-per-view. Maybe they make a return. After the tag match, they make a debut, or maybe even the Trios Championship match. They them and Omega come out, and they'll probably be two-time Trios champs. So we gotta wait and see.
That could be the case.
I'm not looking forward to it, but I'll definitely be watching the pay-per-view. We'll be covering it here on the channel.
We'll be covering. Always. And like, just to conclude, the reason we promised why Sheamus was written off TV, fella got married. Miro was also in attendance. Seth Rollins with a brand new look, blonde one more time. So congratulations to Sheamus and his now wife. So hey, we hope that you have a great life together.
Fella.
Maybe when he comes back, Roman Reigns, and him for the WWE Undisputed Championship. So, family, we cover absolutely everything. Next week, we'll have more, on everything on this week of wrestling. We'll have, previews and predictions of also what's going to happen in Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel also is going to be right here. So, please, don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. The notification is very important, guys. Why? Because it lets all of you guys know when we're going to be doing lives, when the new video has been uploaded. So, where can they find us, Paul?
And then all of our social media, Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube. And click that bell for notifications on the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
You and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...
Happy
Happy Halloween!